It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Hello, everyone. Great to have you with us. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. We've got a chance now for our starting lineups from point guard to center. This game should be a good one. And, guys, what are we going to... Harkless kicks to Nicholson. Over to the wing. The pass to Harkless. Good ball movement here by the Magic. Now here's Lamb. Defense right on him. Shot clock at 5. The Magic need to get a shot off here. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires.
The entire defense was frozen-footed. Nobody picked up the shooter, Kevin.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
I caught up with head coach Jacques Vaughn. This is their first matchup of the season against this squad, and he knows the shot blocking in the middle will certainly be an obstacle. But he said, quote, "We've got to remain aggressive and continue to attack." Guys, he said that putting their bigs in high pick and rolls and shooting the open jumper with confidence will be key. We'll see how they do.
And Doris, as always, thank you. So, Steve, do you agree with Coach's game plan here, given how tough the D is that they're going to go up against?
Yeah, I do. I mean, a huge part of your game plan has to be focused on their D, and I think he's right to put that much emphasis on it.
Yeah, I agree with you guys because they are that good defensively, so you've got to worry about that and game plan for that. And then trust that your guys will execute what needs to be done.
Here's Mr. Clutch. Can't get it to go. So Orlando will take it the other way. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
And a very confident performance offensively, I think, guys, is really how this team clicks. I mean, when they're communicating and executing, sharing the ball, they're tough to beat.
And, Steve, you got to love that kind of performance on the road. I mean, to be a great team in the NBA, you have to be able to have that kind of performance in the other team's building. Really solid.
Great interplay there between those two teammates.
2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And so it looks like the Magic will retain possession here. The Magic making a switch here. The Magic trail by 5. And here's Price from beyond the arc. Shot's good. Price has got himself on the board with 3 there.
Everybody on the floor is hot. Incredible stuff here in the early stages.
Tell you what, both teams playing downhill. Who's going to blink first?
Outside Williams. With 1 on the clock, he got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. Well, it's been a high-scoring competitive game through the first quarter.
Coming up this Friday.
.143 left to play in the first half. Poked loose. Harkless with the steal. They're running. Harkless and Nicholson fill up the forward slots. Ejuan Moore is out there with Price, and it's Maxiell in at the 5. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Magic.
Well, it was rather on the down low, but a very nice rookie season for 6'9" big man Andrew Nicholson out of St. Bonaventure. He didn't start playing basketball until the 11th grade, guys. But you'd never guess it from his well-rounded offensive skill set.
And Clark, you mentioned the offensive gifts of Andrew Nicholson. Range on his jump shot, an array of moves inside. He comprises a nice little package.
Yeah, he's going to be an interesting player. Very creative offensively. He's got a soft touch with that jump hook, and you mentioned the ability to shoot from range.
Here's Mr. Clutch. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Mr. Clutch has got 6.
Boy, they've been leaning on that outside shot a little too much here in the second.
Yeah, shooting a lot of long jumpers here, Clark, and I don't like their offensive pace right now.
Price off a pick from Maxiell. Price with the ball. Now Thomas defending, and the basket by Maxiell.
And he's starting to pick things up here after a tough first quarter.
From deep, and Utah another 3.
D there, guys, was pretty much non-existent. I mean, you can't leave a good shooter like that open.
Kicks to Harkless. Back to Price. Price with a screen on Williams. There's the feed to Harkless. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Nicholson. Goes up again, and the layup is up and in.
Perseverance paying off on the offensive boards, guys.
So for the Jazz, their last game, a loss to the Heat.
You know, on an ordinary night, I think they would have come out on top in that game. That's how well they played, but they just happened to run into a club that was playing at the top of its game.
And Steve, I think they get the win if that game had been at home instead of on the road.
Now Rush. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Here's Harkless. The shot misses. That'll do it for the first half. Jazz up.
Yes, Kevin, here with Coach Corbin. And Coach,
Now, presented by Sprint.
The NBA season is rolling right along.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And as we begin the second half, first half. Taking a look at the Jazz. Mr. Clutch in a two-guard. Rush out there with Marvin Williams. Then it's John Lucas, and it's Thomas in at the center position. Passes to Lucas. Just 5 to shoot. The Jazz need to get off a shot here, and that one's good.
Now they'll take as many of those high percentage shots as they can get, guys.
Well, really a promising young roster for the Utah Jazz team, guys. A lot of blue chip talent there. I think in a couple of years, this team has a chance to be one of the best in the West.
Nicholson with the bucket. 1:16 left in the third quarter. Lucas the pass to Mr. Clutch. And the layup's good off the glass. Mr. Clutch has got the lead up to 14 now for Utah. And you got to give this Utah front office a lot of credit. You're right, Clark. They've only missed the playoffs 5 times in the last 30 seasons. Steve, that is a remarkable run.
What I like about Utah, too, Kevin, is that they seem to stay ahead of the curve. They make moves while they still have leverage. Dealing Carlos Boozer, Kirilenko, Deron Williams. So they've done a good job of getting value, getting assets, and continuing to look ahead. Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official.
Derek Favors checked in for Thomas. The Magic trail by 16. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Nicholson with the bucket.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
Here's Mr. Clutch. Utah the rebound. Lucas kicks to Rush. Here's Mr. Clutch. Drops in the tray. Mr. Clutch has got 7 points here in this quarter. Afflalo with it. 18 points for him. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. He's had 5 chances at the line, gone 4 for 5. The first free throw is good.
You know, it's been a bad day for them at the line today as a whole, and far too often, that's the case for this team.
And Afflalo drops them both.
You know, he's as close to a sure thing as you can possibly have when he steps to the line.
Here's Favors. Well through 3 quarters of play. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. How about a look at today's State Farm assist of the game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Utah's gotten 8 shots off from three-point land and hit half of them. Oladipo at the point with Afflalo at the 2. Jason Maxiel is out there with Tobias Harris, and it's Vucevic in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's who's out there for Orlando. Aflalo dishes to Vucevic, and that one's good.
Looks like they're going to finish strong, but there just aren't enough ticks left on the clock.
Well, Steve, it's a good run they're having now, but they just waited too long to have it.
Just look at how quickly their lead has grown over the course of the last few possessions.
Boy, they've really saved their best for last, haven't they?
And so it's Utah easily grabbing the win.
Hi, Kevin. Derek, what were the points of emphasis?
Well, it's been a few days, so where do things stand now? Still want to be traded? Because remember, if we go down this road, there's no turning back.
You know, I've actually thought about it a little bit, and I'm willing to stick it out a little bit longer, see how things go. But I'm still not sure this is where I want to be in the long run.
That's fair, and I appreciate your honesty. I'll tell you what, I'll talk with Coach and see if we can figure out a way to make things work a little better for you here.
Great, thank you.
And please, listen, always keep me up to date with what you're thinking. My door, it's always open.
I appreciate that.
Greetings, passengers. We have now begun our descent into Atlanta. Please fasten those seatbelts and return your tray to its upright and locked position. We should be on the ground shortly.
You